Good evening, everybody. We're joined by the Michael Price family, UCLA women's head basketball coach Cori and seniors Lauren Betts and Kiki Rice. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach, do 10 minutes of questions for student athletes, wrap up with questions for Coach. Cori?
Look at all these amazing media members here. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. I just learned this today that it was 54-54 in all-time matchups, and this was the rubber match, I guess. But someone asked me today, one of the commentators asked me the difference, and I had a hard time with the piece of what's the difference between our two programs exactly, but the one thing that we really share is that we want to grow the game in LA together. And I really appreciate the way that Lindsay partners with that, and that really can never be understated. And because when you're in a fierce rivalry, sometimes that can get lost. And she's never lost perspective in that, and I'm a proud partner in trying to grow our sport together. We've been talking a lot, and you guys have heard me talk about how offense cannot be where we find our identity, because there's going to be nights where offense is not as great. Maybe we don't make shots, or we don't have as good a rhythm, or they do something we didn't expect. And bottom line is, I didn't think we played very well offensively, but defense and rebounding was our anchor. Once after we got through that first part where where they were hitting all those threes, they were 6 for 9 at one point. I think from that point on, I thought we were really good on defense and rebounding, and that was our anchor, and that's the thing I'm most proud of.
Question for both of you. As Coach said, you guys dominated on the boards, 46-26, 42-10 points in the paint. What did you see from the scouting report, and how do you feel you executed?
Just a collective effort to rebound. I mean, that was a big key of ours. We wanted to create more possessions, and we wanted to limit their possessions. So just the way that we crashed the boards and, kind of really took pride in that. I thought Gianna particularly did a great job and gave us a really big spark there in the first half, just with the way she crashed the boards, created extra possessions. We got a few extra threes. So really proud of how we did that.
Yeah, Lauren, it was all even there in the first quarter. What really clicked for you guys in the second that allowed you to get that space and really maintain it the rest of the game?
On offense, you're saying? Or whatever? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that's something that we continuously work on and practice every single day, is just like maintaining that space, especially offensively. But I think the guards just did a really good job of creating for me, and they make my job really easy. So that's just something that we work on every single day. But just really proud of how we executed offensively. I thought, especially in transition, we kind of talked about the post, just reading each other, making sure that we're giving each other that space, finding each other, and I thought we did a good job of that. So.
Kiki, after sort of a slower first half for you to finish with 14 points, what were some of the adjustments that you made, if any, or just what kind of felt different as the game went on for you?
Yeah, it wasn't really about scoring. I mean, I thought I was just focused on kind of finding my teammates. Lauren was doing a great job getting early steals, and kind of just let the game come to me. I mean, we have such a balanced group, so many, points of attack, so just letting the game come to me. I felt like I had some driving lanes there in the second half that I took advantage of, but just really proud of how we all kind of stepped up in different areas, and it doesn't need to be Lauren scoring, doesn't need to be me scoring, doesn't need to be Gabs. It can really be anyone at any point.
Hi, ladies. Great game. Your coach mentioned earlier about how that first quarter really was uncharacteristic of USC, and you guys came out. Do you think that surprised you on defense, playing defense against them, or was it just great offense? Or what changed or shocked you guys about the first quarter being different from the other three?
I mean, I think it was just us having that mentality defensively that we're not going to let them shoot any more threes. That was honestly the only thing that was really keeping them in the game. So, we just had to lock in. It was really just us. I think we had control of the game for a majority of it. So just making sure that we were setting our own standard and sticking to it.
Lauren, right here in the center here. I have USC's post players 1 for 13 from the field tonight, only 2 points. What was the successful effort defensively, holding them, I think, to just 10 points in the paint as well tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was just part of our scouting report. I mean, I think today I just really wanted to help the guards out as much as possible. I mean, I was kind of just sitting in the paint the entire game and helping out on those ball screens. But yeah, I think that's just something that I take a lot of pride in, just making things as hard as possible for posts on other teams. So, but I really do think it was a team effort. I mean, it's really tough to guard everybody out there, but I think we did a really good job. So.
We all know this is a rivalry game. Last year, I believe, Kiki and Coach, you guys were very emotional after the loss here last year at Pauley. Can you talk about how you came in today managing the emotions of a big rivalry game?
Yeah, I mean, last year obviously was a tough finish here, and I think we all know we didn't want to feel that feeling again on our home court, and we just came out with a different mentality. I mean, that's last year. That's a whole different team on both sides. So just recognizing that, you know, this is a new year, new opportunity to really go out there, play hard, and just be the tougher team. I think that's sometimes what we lacked last year, and you know, in our matchup with them in the Big Ten final. But I thought we were the tougher team today, and that's what led us to that victory.
Cori, what was it like having London back here tonight, and how do you go about maintaining a healthy relationship with players, like any player who's
Absolutely. Let me come back to that. As long as is everyone done with our student athletes? I don't want to shortcut. Go ahead, then I'll come back to that. I don't want Cori mad
Kiki,
at me.
With the atmosphere, coaches leaving, players leaving, switching schools, and you stayed here at UCLA. How does that feel?
Yeah, it does feel great. I mean, I can't believe I'm already a senior, and it's crazy that this is, you know, the last home game against SC. But yeah, I mean, look, everyone in this program, from the coaches to the support staff to everyone really involved, is so fantastic. And I think you don't find many programs across the country that have the quality of people that we have. So, you know, today it's, in this kind of age of college basketball, it's very easy to leave. It's very easy to kind of get lured away to different programs. But I just think the trust and loyalty that, you know, the coaches and the entire staff here has put in me, it's made me want to just really, you know, stay here. And of course, my teammates. This is, you know, one of the best teams that I've played on, and not just from a basketball standpoint, but from the girls. They're all my best friends. I love being here, and wouldn't want to play my senior season with anyone else.
Right here. And with that said, this question is for both of y'all. Can y'all talk about, you both just reached 1,500 points recently. Can y'all elaborate on how cool was that to 15 points in your career? Can you elaborate how cool is that to kind of come up together?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Hey. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just, you know, it's just another number, to be honest, I think, for the both of us. I mean, it's obviously really cool to do it together, but I think what Kiki and I talk about all the time is that we just want to, you know, elevate this team in any way that we can. So if it's us scoring, if it's everybody else, like, it doesn't really matter. We just want to win games at the end of the day. So yes, it is really cool, but obviously not our biggest focus. But
this is for either Lauren or Kiki, or both, preferably both. Cori talked about, in her opening remarks, about growing the game and really growing it in LA. How much does an atmosphere like this contribute to that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's huge. I mean, to see the support that we have, that you know, both programs have, it really means a lot for women's basketball. I mean, you know, people come out and they like to watch us, and I think it's fun when you're playing on the court and you have a big crowd. It's really loud. Like, those are always the most fun games. So I think it's fun for both the fans and the players, but it really means a lot because women's basketball is such a great product. You know, you have so many fantastic players, storylines, and we obviously appreciate all of you for telling those stories, and for all the fans that come out.
Yeah, what Kiki said.
Yeah. Okay, we'll let you go.
Okay, perfect.
I had the same thought when in the first quarter too. I'm like, if once they just lock in, it's over. So what was it that was preventing you guys from locking in then?
That's a great question. I mean, it really shouldn't, to be honest. I mean, I think that's just something that we won't talk about, you know, going to every single game. We really just need to start off stronger from the very beginning. But I think I'm really proud of the way that, you know, we switched immediately and we just figured it out, and we didn't take like a whole half to change our defense. So I think, I don't know. I think, you know, that's something that we're just going to continue to work on. We want to make sure that we start off way stronger. So, but that's a great point.
And then just really quick, I always have to ask, what's your next step? If the games don't get any easier, what's your next step going forward as far as growing from this game?
We're going to rest, get some good recovery in for sure. But then just, focusing on the next opponent. I think we play Nebraska next. They're going to be a really good team, really big crowd there. So just focusing on whatever the coaches tell us is a game plan. But, we've continued to get better each week in every practice. So just take it day by day and see where we need to improve.
Last question over here.
For the players, second win over a top 20 team within a 7-day span. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, obviously just really proud of, this team and how we continue to show up. Playing Ohio State right after Christmas break wasn't easy, and that was a really tough win for us. So just really, proud of how we continue to show up and making sure that we're, setting that standard for ourselves every single game and we're going out to compete. And, this is a really stacked team and everyone continues to show up and do their role and execute it really well. So we're going to continue to take this momentum with us for the rest of this conference. So just really proud of everybody.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, ladies.
Good job. You got the peanut gallery over there. All right, Jill? Do you want me to answer that again? About Haley? That's right. Yes.
Do you remember? I apologize
About
for not following directions.
It's okay. I do it all the time. I know.
I switched.
Go ahead, Haley. Just commenting about the players that left in London specifically. Is that what you want to know?
Yeah, just what it's like having her back and how you manage relationships with players who transfer.
Well, once they choose another school, you really don't have conversation. I don't as a staff. That would be considered unethical. But I did talk to Lindsay. I remember last year at Big Ten meetings, coaches meetings, and just asked Lindsay what she was comfortable with. If she was comfortable, if London had a good game, if I could, heart it or say great job. And Lindsay said she was okay with that. So we have had some contact. And I was talking to Tasha yesterday. I've been doing this with everyone who's transferred, is writing them a letter, and then we're putting it in with their rings and giving it to them. And Tasha wrote one too. And so I said to Tasha's like, have you written your letter yet? And I said, yeah. And she said, how was that for you? And I said, I teared up, and, London will always be a part of our journey here. And this building process includes her, even though she's wearing a different jersey right now. She made a tough decision that her and her family felt was right with her. And actually, we had great discussion about it. She handled it the right way. We had honest conversations, and she made the right decision for her. And so that doesn't have to take away all the great things that we shared. And I got a chance to recount some of those, and that I remember and that I value. And so I wish London nothing but the best. It's, of course, a little bit weird, but I only am not rooting for her a couple times a year. Other than that, I'm always in her corner.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned the growth of the game and how you and Lindsay are partnering with Los Angeles basketball in particular, but this game was on Peacock today. I'm curious your thoughts about accessibility in the women's game, especially such a big matchup like this that has so much history. Could it have been on just regular
NBC
television?
It's interesting because when there's some real great milestones that have happened this year in particular. One, I pretty sure I read this, that ESPN is charging the same amount for ad space for men's basketball games, college games, as they are women's basketball. That's a huge step for us being viewed as an asset worth investing in, not a Title IX box to check. The second thing that for the first time that's ever happened is it used to be when you had the scheduling in TV windows, it would go NBA, men's basketball and college, Big East and the Big Ten, and then it would be women's basketball. And this year, according to Fox and NBC and our TV partners, they said, no, we want to do women and men at the same time. That's a huge piece. That being said, there's the bowl games right now. There's a lot going on. I actually looked at that this morning, and the reality is it's the TV, it's NBC's call. They got the game in the draft, and then sometimes it goes to Peacock. But our men's game was on Peacock against Iowa, right, today? And so I wish they were all on linear television for sure, but I'm actually really proud of the work that the Big Ten has done to feature us on as much exposure in linear television, but also every alternative outlet they can. Do I wish it was on national NBC? Yes. Or national Fox? Yes. But I really do appreciate the work that the Big Ten has, and I don't think there's a better conference in the country for featuring women's basketball and women's sports.
Coach, you were very critical of your team, but at the end of the day, you blew out a really good rival. You're 5-1 against the top 25. In your opinion, where does that put UCLA in the world of women's college basketball?
Focused on getting better the next day. I think the reality is those are all really good things. We had the second hardest non-conference schedule in the country next to Southern University. We have, I think, the most quad one wins of any team in the country. That's all great. I want the seeding people to all know that. But for our team, I could care less. I want us to know how we turn the ball over less, how we, when we did have a breakdown, what led to that. I just want our team to find the right balance every day of struggle and joy. Nobody grows staying in their comfort zone. So it's my job to really create the struggle and the atmosphere that they've got to scratch and claw to get a few possessions better every day. And it's my job to hold that standard. And to have it be joyful and fun, and for them to enjoy the moment that they're in, and to not worry about outcomes in the future. I think that the best teams are the ones that really try to win the day, win the practice, win the rep, and enjoy that, enjoy competing to get better. Those are the teams that you see playing their best basketball. Our potential is undeniable, but it will not be our talent that creates it. It will be our commitments and our consistency that we develop, and so I'm really only focused on that.
Hey, Coach, just back here.
Yeah,
just to piggyback on what you said about winning the day. What has that done for your team and your program for just them focusing on winning the day and not necessarily the outcome?
Yeah, I think that it's, this is the hardest working team I've ever been around. They are spectacular in that. I've got to kick them out of the gym. And I'm really appreciative of the work ethic that they have. But there's a difference between hard work and competing. Like, there's an awareness, there's a dog in you, there's a sense of urgency that has to happen. And I want them to transfer hard work to competitive awareness and competitive fight. And I think we're going in the right direction, but I think that's still a journey we need to go on. And I think we got to fight for a few more possessions. We watched film after the Ohio State game. And as all together as a group, and we counted how many points we gave away. Not that Ohio State earned, but that we gave away by mistakes or lack of focus or just not enough effort. And we gave away 21 points. 21 points. And I said, what is it worth to you to fight to close that gap day by day? What is it worth to you to be held to that standard? And actually, one of my favorite moments of the game is I was not happy. I called timeout. And the whole thing was about the standard. Do you care about the standard? Do you want me to lower the standard? I thought we were committed to the same thing. And I sort of went at him and a little bit sarcastically. And Gabs right away was like, we got this. Like, everybody lock in. Everybody refocus. We're about the standard. And that they're taking that. They're every day getting a little bit better. And so that's sort of what I mean about being competition focused as well as in transferring our work ethic to our competitiveness.
Hi, Coach.
Yeah, hi there.
Great game.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Stephen A. Smith was here tonight. You touched on it earlier when you came in, thanking the media. How does it feel to have all of us here, and as well having Stephen A. and Kevin Frazier and everybody back?
Yeah, we had a lot of great people that came, a lot of people that I've done podcasts with or shows. Abby Wambach and Glennon Doyle were here. I get myself in trouble when I start naming all the names, but I was on Stephen A.'s show, and he talked about this game, and he said, when do you play USC? I want to be there. And then I said the date, and he was like, ooh, I don't know if I can do it. And then I followed up, and our team followed up, and that's what I told him when I went over and hugged him and said, thanks for doing what you said you wanted to do. Like, that meant a lot. And so, he's been a real proponent of the women's game, from the WNBA to women's college basketball. I know he can be, he likes to ride the edge of controversy sometimes, but I will tell you, he has been really good to me and really good to our program. And it said a lot to me that he followed through with his word and he showed up today when he had to move his schedule around to do so. But, it's no secret, and I sort of joked around when I first got up here, but I just really I'm just passionate about these women's stories. And what it taught me at Ohio State, it wasn't that there was nobody there, and I want to clarify this, covering the game. It's just that there were a couple of one AP and a local writer there, but they didn't ask to talk to any of our players or get comments from us after the game. So, and I just thought to myself, we're further than that in women's sports, not just women's basketball, but we've earned more. And for some of the data points that I gave earlier, we've got these incredible stories to tell. We have a documentary that's been done with Emmy-winning executive producers, with people that are here, and we're looking for someone distribution-wise that's going to blow it out of the water. Like, the stories are immense. And all we need is distribution and exposure. And we will continue to do this. But what Ohio State taught me is we can't take our foot off the gas. We've got to keep pushing. We got to keep being grateful for people like you guys that are here, for having a crowd of over 11,000 that came in the rain in LA to support our team. We got to have great gratitude because we have come so far. And we need to keep pushing. There's still more we can do. There's still more stories to tell. And I'm just never going to stop pounding my chest for the amazing women that we have a chance to be around.
Coach, of course, you put a lot of emphasis on the team's defense. Just how big of a part of that is Angela Dugalich and just the effort that she brings and everything that she brings lengthwise?
I think she's been spectacular. It's so consistent. She just, her assignments, the way that she's able to move and guard people that are smaller than her, and keep them in front. I think I text her on, I think it was, I don't know, whatever day we got back, but they're running together. But I said, Angela, I just couldn't be more proud of you. Her consistency has been great. I just think her poise, I think her ability to be in the post, as well as, last year she was a stretch four that shot threes. And now she's an elite defender, a great rebounder, a great screener, someone who's consistent in the low post. She's facilitating. At one time out, I was like, hey, guards, if you're tired of bringing it up, we trust Ange. Give it back to her. She's got the poise. She's got the seniority, and let her bring it up and enter our offense. And so I just think her growth has been spectacular, and I couldn't be more proud of Angela. Anyone else? Oh, here we go. I'm sorry.
Hi, Coach. Early in the fourth quarter, USC had a 3-on-1 break, and it was Charlize who blew up the play with great defense and a big block. What does it say about your 5'10" guard being able to get up like that, as well as just her defense in general to stop what should have been a high percentage shot?
I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think people are missing the boat about how efficient and disruptive Charlize Ledger-Walker is on the defensive end. She leads our team in deflections. We can switch and she can guard the post. She talks better than almost anyone besides Lauren. She is just absolutely spectacular on the defensive end. I think she slides and moves her feet and keeps people in front better than anybody on our team. She's efficient, and I just think that play shows. 3-on-1 break, she uses her smarts, reads their eyes, and finds a way to get her hand on the ball and make a play. And so I'm really proud. And I'm even more proud because today was not Charlize's best offensive game. And I mean, she's top in the country, top 10 in the country in assist to turnover ratio. She's just been spectacular. And today she struggled a little bit more with that. But I love it as she's like, I'll make other winning plays for the team. And she did that on the defensive end.
Hey, Cori. I know you had plenty of conversations with Coach Wooden over the years, and we all know how much respect he had for the women's game.
Yeah, you did.
If he were here today, what do you think that he would say about where the game is now, how it's grown, and where it can go from here?
Well, I think that the reason he said that his favorite form of basketball in his later years was the women's college game was because of the teamwork aspect. He always valued that people were as a team, that were making plays for one another, that they became a team that was greater than the sum total of its parts. That's what he valued. And he valued, the details. He valued of the life lessons that happen between pursuing excellence on the court, but also transfer off the court. And so I'd like to say that he would really enjoy watching this team, and he'd really be proud of how far the game has come in general. His family tell me all the time that they always say Papa would have liked this team, and that comes straight to my heart.
Cori, there's lots of great things to be proud of on the stat sheet tonight, and just was struck by the maturity of the seniors up here. Remembering when they were much younger. Is this team where you thought it would be right now at this point in the season?
I think the biggest thing, I knew that we could be really, really good, but I think I just am trying to stay focused on one day at a time. I don't know if I had an agenda. I just wanted us to focus on selflessness and growth. With this many weapons, it's not going to be the same person every night. Like, I thought the turning point in the first into the first quarter was Gianna Neepkins on the boards. She hit some threes, but I thought our rebounding really changed with her flying around on the offensive boards, and we got 2 threes out of offensive rebounding situations, and that was a huge spark. And so I think that it's valuing all those little things, and I think my biggest focus is not having an agenda about where we need to be at any given time, but to just stay focused on making plays for one another, enjoying the process, and just trying to grow intentionally that day.
Coach, speaking of Gianna, I think I remember you saying earlier this season that when she came here, you said something along the lines of she was going to be known as more than just a scorer.
Mm-hmm.
The 6 rebounds, 5 assists.
Yeah.
How have you kind of seen her continue to find her role with this group? And then when she's making an impact across the board like that, how does that really enhance this team?
Well, I think that, if she wanted to just be a great scorer, she could have stayed at Utah, and I think that her and I have talked a lot about the reason she's here is that she wanted to learn to play with other great players, because that's like a dress rehearsal for playing in the WNBA, and she wanted to improve her defense, and she just wanted to be the best player she could be and be a part of winning at the highest levels. And I'm like way more proud of how her defense has improved. She's the best off-ball screener on our team. I mean, there's so many times where we're able to get cleaner catches for a Lauren or for somebody because she's such an elite off-ball screener. And so all those things are just things I just really celebrate growth, I think one of the things in leadership is trying to celebrate the things you want to see more of. And obviously she's changed us in some of her scoring ability and her three-point shooting, and it's been a huge add. But I just want to keep celebrating where she's grown. Like, I feel the same way about Gabs, Like, I thought her defense, her and Lauren's were the anchors of our defense today, and I thought Gabs was spectacular. And I just love that her fire, and I want to just celebrate those little things. I just think we got to hold scoring really loosely on this team. And we got to enjoy all the little points of growth and just go, I wonder who it's going to be tonight. And enjoy the variety of that and just keep focusing on celebrating the things we want to see more of.
Coach, last season you lost to SC in both regular season games by double digits, and won the Big Ten championship game. Was another tight game. What's it mean to come back into Pauley Pavilion tonight and blow out your crosstown rival by 34 points?
I think for us, I told the team last year for 4.5 halves, they were the aggressors. And that just can't happen in a rivalry game. Can't happen. And so I just really challenged us that to focus on making the aggressive plays. Even if they don't work out perfectly, be the aggressor. And don't try to have plays come to you. Go and make plays happen. And I think that was a really big shift. We were really disappointed not being the aggressors, and we feel a lot better today being the aggressors. So they're a really good team. I've really, actually, they've reinvigorated ways to score in ways I didn't think they could. And, I give their coaching staff a lot of credit for that. But it's not about, how many points we win today. It's did we make the next step becoming the best version of ourselves, period.
Coach, going into this game, was there any kind of game plan for Jazzy Davidson specifically? You guys contained her really well tonight.
Nah, we don't care about her. No, I'm just teasing. No. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, Jazzy and Kennedy Smith, they pretty much are the core of how they attack. So they're gonna run shuffle picks for the two of them, then a pin down for the other one. Out of every timeout, they try to, Kennedy is an elite passer actually, and she is their best defender, and she's a great passer, and they usually run something where she's passing to Jazzy. And so, I think Jazzy's been one of the most impactful freshmen in the country. She's a great player. One of the things I really admire about Jazzy Davidson is that I think her elite skill is the way she moves without the ball. And I think that is so rare to say that about a freshman. And so she's, got a great future ahead of her. Both her and Kennedy, I think, are the core people on their team. And, and I think they've done a really good job fighting to find different ways to score and use them in creative ways.
I think that's it.
All right, thank you guys again for being here. We really appreciate you.